You got it locked on Roadium Radio.
Due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, Dr. Dre is in the motherfucking house. So right about now, and I say, yo Steve, are you with me? ICE, are you with me?
Here's a little something about a nigga like me that never should've let me buy tape from Steve. Ice Cube would like to play dope shit mixed by Dr. Dre. Since I was a youth, I like Compton. Now I like the motherfucking Roadium. Buying a tape or two, that's what the hell I do. You don't like Tony A? Well, fuck you, this is a game, and I'm in it. Ice Cube will fuck you up in a minute with a right, left, right, making you sick. And then you see Tony A is on the mix.
Tony A! Tony A! When you're ready, go.
Welcome back to Roadium Radio, episode 307, and I'm your host, Tony A. the Wizard. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody on the live chat, everybody who's commenting, everybody who's liking, everybody who's sharing, everybody who's disliking. It doesn't even matter. You guys are still watching, but it's all good. You know what? I want to thank everybody who tuned in the other night for Conversation with Marvelous. We had a great time, and then before that, we had News with Norbies, and then before that, we had Calls with the Wizard with High C, and those were all good. So, let me go ahead and promote tomorrow, News with Norbies, 8 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. News with Norbies, we got great news. Where we give you the ghetto news from an unprofessional perspective. But tonight, we got a very special guest, okay? I like to say up-and-coming guest. I know he's been around doing it for a while, but for me, I like to always say up-and-coming, so that way we can all get behind them and push them and help them and subscribe and follow and share and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let me introduce you guys to FACEvsIT. Did I say it right, my bro?
You got it right, man. You got it right. What's up, y'all? It's FACEvsIT out of South Central Los Angeles. Really happy to be here, man. I've been watching this show for a minute.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not every episode. You know what I'm saying? Right. But
almost every episode.
Yeah. Nah, well, when I got time, man. You guys have long episodes. You know what I'm saying?
do.
You got long episodes. But I really like what you do, man. I really like what you represent. You know, Latinos in the game. I feel like we gotta kind of stick together, kind of show each other love. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, where I first met you was at To Live and Die in LA events.
Mm-hmm.
And at Norbert, as a matter of fact, interviewed you because I had to go get some lunch.
Right. You was hungry.
Yes. you know, one thing about that day, first and foremost, the people that went out, because it was raining nasty.
Yep.
Those were real troopers, man. The people that showed up to support that event for Frankie Orozco.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank those people that showed up. That would have been such a dope day for LA if it would have never rained.
Yeah, I feel like it still was dope because you saw the true one. Like I got supporters off of that show. I got to perform twice that day, so it was really dope. Yeah, thanks to David Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks to David Vegas. Concerts for You.
Yes, sir. He's the man.
Make sure you guys follow him as well. Concerts for You, and we're gonna have Face's Instagram on the screen. We'll have mine on the screen. If you guys want to give me a follow, I'm gonna give him a follow, and also Concerts for You. You guys want to give them a follow as well. So, and eventually we'll get the calls because I want people to call in. People that may not know who you are, people that may have a question for you, people that may want to know where your music is at or how could they support or where are you going to perform in next or whatnot.
Okay.
Sometimes I talk fast to try to keep up.
I'm on it.
So other than that, man, you know what? Today is Wednesday. How was your weekend? Let's go back to Friday.
Oh, man. Friday. What did I do Friday? I feel like in this game, especially like living the life I'm living, every day is like, feels like a week sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You're doing so much. Friday I went to a quinceañera in the hood in Cape Town. It was really dope though. It was like, it was mad love. I got to go with my wife's family. I got to meet all the people she grew up with. And even though we've been together for a long time, I haven't really met that side of the peoples. And man, it was awesome. And then Saturday was her dad's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So we watched the fight. They're boxing fans. So, you know, I called it. Crawford was going to win. He won.
Was it an easy win?
You know what, man? He made it look easy. I don't know if it was an easy win. I think he just did the work because he he like basically got his ticket because I mean Earl Spence Jr. is no joke, you know what I'm saying? And he made it look real easy. He talked about the strategy after, and it was like spot on. He took away his best weapons and he used the jab in a different way. And then also, man, Crawford got shot in the head and lived, and like it's kind of a different type of person, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and then once I saw Eminem announce him, I was like, oh, he's gonna win, bro. They're on his side.
It's all good. I watched UFC fights.
Oh, word! How was that?
I thought they were cool. I mean, of course, I'm a bigger boxing fan than I am UFC, and I guess maybe because if I knew more of the people that were fighting, I would get more into it because I rarely know. I think I just know McGregor and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I know there's an Ecuadorian fighter that I like to follow. His name is Chito Vera.
Okay.
But outside of that, I'm the same. I don't know them enough to really be invested, you know, and I think that's something they got to work on, like the UFC.
Like there's another one who's a beast. I don't know if she won or lost last. Amanda something. Nunez.
Yes,
Nunez.
I've heard the name, but I couldn't put a face to it.
Yeah, when Ronda Rousey lost to that lady Holm or...
Oh, yeah, Holly Holm. Yep.
Her next fight was against Amanda Nunez.
And she got beat, too.
Oh,
right?
my God. And then it was a wrap.
Yeah, that's it. She went to wrestling or something, right?
Yeah,
acting and wrestling.
So I know you said you're originally from South Central. So is that where you grew up at?
Really, I want to say I say South Central because more people are familiar with that area, but I'm from West Adams.
Okay.
So like Normandy and Adams. That's where I grew up. But anybody that's not from LA, south of the 10 freeway, that's South Central.
Okay.
And I grew up roaming South Central, but
all right.
West Adams is where my house was at.
Okay, and where originally, if you don't mind me asking, are your family from?
Ecuador.
Okay, now both of them were born there?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm first generation. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was gonna say, were you born over there?
Nah, but I spent every summer until like I was like 15 over there. My mom kept me out the streets that way. She was like,
"Hey, that's a good way to keep you off the streets, man." But you do have a lot of family over there still now?
Yeah, I just came back in April. I just came back. I performed a couple times out there. It was awesome. I got to perform for my hometown. It was like my family's hometown,
Really?
Where I grew up, like when I was there was no running water. Like, what I'm saying, as a kid, like literally, with the buckets washing yourself and stuff.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, man. It's different. You learn a lot when you travel like that.
I saw an interview with Marvin Gaye. It was a short interview, but it was something that stuck with me. And he said how he loved America. He said how he loved America because I never bash America. I love America. He says, but in order for you to appreciate America, you have to be out of America for a while.
I agree with that sentiment completely because when I hear people talk about, man, the USA sucks or stuff, people that I'm around, like they're not people I don't get along with. They're just like, I need to get out of the U.S. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, you don't even know what true poverty is. Like I've seen people who don't know where the next meal is going to come for the next week, in a different way, bare feet. Like my mother, she likes to give back, and she taught me that that's what you're supposed to do. So on certain holidays, like one Christmas in specific, we actually went out there and got these parcels that we gave to families. We went up to like the poorest areas and near the part of Ecuador that my family's from, which is Sucre 24 de Mayo. I think it's called the Monserrate, is the poor area up there, and into the hills. And we were giving away parcels, and it was touching. Like literally, people telling us like they didn't know where their meal was going to come from that saved their life. You don't see that here. Like there's so many programs here. I'm not saying people aren't poor here in a different way, but it's just a different level.
Different level, because in a lot of these third world countries, they don't have government assistance.
Exactly.
And here, even if you go to jail, at least you get 3 meals.
Exactly, 3 hots in a cot, right?
You could get a free membership at a library if you want to educate yourself.
Exactly. And now the library has Wi-Fi. You can I believe like you can watch movies there, like all that crazy stuff. Like you could do a lot at the library now.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, because I remember when I was a kid, I had family that from Juarez, and one time I had to use the restroom, but it was an outhouse, and I was just maybe 9, 10 years old, and my mom walked me to the outhouse, where you open up the door. And there's like a little, I guess it looks like a chair like this, but it has a hole in the middle.
You just drop it in there.
You just drop it. So I remember I looked in there.
Bad idea.
Yeah, bro. And I was like, wait, this is like real? So then I get up, I wipe, you wipe yourself. Now you're looking for the flush.
You know where to flush. Well, check it out. In Ecuador, when there was no running water, it was, I believe El Nino like messed up the plumbing, and that's why there was none for like a long time.
Right.
We used to have buckets, and you'd have to throw the bucket into the toilet to make it flush. So like, yeah, that's that. Imagine how long sometimes it goes without people throwing that water in the bucket. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes the showers are just trickles.
Yeah.
Like I take a shower in Torreon, where my family's from, and I turn on the water and it was just started trickling. So I was like, okay, it's not working.
Yeah.
My uncle came in and he said, no.
That's how it goes.
I said, yes, you know, and I was like, the hell? So I would get a cup, fill that up.
Yeah, I mean, that's there was no water coming out. So we had the bucket, like a giant, like 10-gallon bucket or whatever,
Right.
and we would get the water and then throw it on. It's funny because my mom, she liked hot showers, so she would boil the water and then shower. It was different. It was different.
Now, for the people that may not know and the people that are watching, is rap big in Ecuador?
I'd say it's coming up. There's
Okay.
definitely a hip hop scene. I met, I got tatted out there when I went, and I met this guy who was really into hip hop. He was my tattoo artist, Monterey Tattoo. If you're watching, man, shout outs to you. He put me on hip hop out there. It's big. It's big in South America, like Argentina, Colombia. I believe they have scenes in Ecuador. You know, it's a smaller country, so it's catching up. But I'm trying to tap into that network there. You know, it's just a little different, but I think it's coming up.
Okay. Now, I'm asking because I don't know, but you know, here podcasting is a thing. Do they have podcasting over there since the last time you went?
I believe so. I'm not tapped in. My boy Mando El Pelado, though, he's really tapped in out there. I have some music with him. I believe he's been on some podcasts and some radio shows out there.
Okay. And what about the club scene out there?
Man, I'm married. So, so I didn't go to the clubs. You know what I'm saying? But
from what you heard,
from what I've heard, it's, you know, we would be ballers out there. So it's popping. It's popping. But I mean, it's like anywhere else. You know, if you got money, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Now, before we get into your music, I want to ask you this because obviously you've gone to Ecuador a lot, especially during the summers. You were raised out here. What do you think was one of your biggest influences when it came to you wanting to be this artist that you are as far as rap? Who was it, or what was it that inspired you? Like, do you recall the first rap song you ever heard?
Not the first one I ever heard. The first one I fell in love with, though, for sure.
Okay.
The first one I fell in love with, like, I vibed with the grip of him. My bus driver, Mr. Smith, man, he would play like Power 106 in the morning.
Okay.
So we would hear it like, you know, Biggie's and Pac's and all the songs that were radio friendly, I guess, at the time.
Right.
But growing up, I was really into like poetry and writing poetry. I wouldn't even say I was into hip hop yet.
Yeah.
And then I was low key kind of like not really messing with hip hop because not all hip hop was, you know, created equal. Let's just say that.
Course.
And my boy Pepper, he lived behind me at some point. He was like, man, I don't know how you don't feel this. Like, and I had just had a family friend die, and he played Thug's Mansion for me by Tupac. And man, I just got chills thinking about that moment. Like, yep, man, that song just changed my life. That was poetry. That was a man really spilling his guts, you know, tattooed tears, couldn't sleep good for years, you know, like that. It's just, it hit me. And that's when I just knew. I was just like, I love this. And
you know, there is some rap, and I like the way you described that. There is some rap that you could just listen to it and vibe, and you could be like, hell yeah, I could jam to this shit.
Yeah.
And then there's songs like what you just mentioned that really touch you.
yeah, exactly.
Do you think, because one thing I've noticed about Raza, we really gravitate towards Pac.
Right. We do.
So you as an artist, what do you think it was that he did that we loved so much?
I think Latinos in general are passionate people.
Yes, sir.
And I think that more than anything, what made Pac as popular as he is his passion. I don't think, because he's a dope poet, he's a dope lyricist, but mechanically rhyming, I wouldn't say he's the best rapper. Like,
right.
I'd say Biggie had that balance and mathematical flow, but Pac had the passion. He sounded like Malcolm X when he rapped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of course.
He sounded like he meant every single word. You felt it. And I think as Latinos, we gravitate to that because we understand. Like, you listen to our music, like everything
Absolutely.
is heartfelt. You know what I'm saying?
again, my favorite song from him, and I think you'll understand, it touches me, is So Many Tears.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's just so many tears, bro. It's like, it's an amazing song, bro. It's funny, you feel what he's saying, and then you feel for him.
Right, exactly. Right, man. I mean, I remember being in Ecuador and bumping, like, I think at that point, Thugs Get Lonely too had just came out.
Yeah.
And I remember just listening to it. And this is like post Hamas, I think it's called. But Eminem, who's like my other favorite rapper, right?
Yeah.
He produced it. So like to me, it was like everything I wanted to hear. And it's what you said, man. When you hear that Thugs Get Lonely 2 song, you hear him boom, 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 boom. And then he's like, Thugs Get Lonely too, and he starts rapping about like being on the road and all that, and you feel it, you feel connected. You're like, man, I feel that. And then me wanting to be a rapper, I'm like, that's how it's gonna be one day, like, you know.
Right. You know, and it's funny because, again, I don't rap, so I'm asking questions that a person that maybe your fan would want to ask you. Do all rappers have that what Pac had?
No.
Now, would you say is that a gift or that's something he learned?
I think it's interesting, right? Because especially like after watching the Dear Mama documentary, going to his exhibit that they had in downtown LA, you learn a lot more. I mean, I was a Pac, I'm kind of a geek with things.
Yeah.
So like I had like the Pac Tupac Resurrection book growing up. Like that's, I had his poetry books. Like I was really into him. So I understood him, I think, a little bit deeper. But, you know, his mother was a Black Panther. He was part of the new Black Panther movements at the time. I think it was taught, but I think that the potential was there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I think he learned, he was a product of his environment.
And that's what came
out of his mouth.
I'm gonna spill my eyes.
I mean, his name, like I'm Ecuadorian. That's like that was part of the Incan Empire. His name is Tupac Amaru. That was the Incan prince who defeated a battle against the Spaniards. I think he was the last standing one too. So like his mom knew that, named him Tupac Amaru because she wanted him to understand. And they said this in the documentary. She wanted him to understand that we're not, you know, Black people were not the only people that had issues, had things against them. And, you know, I feel like that's also why we connect, because he understood that. It wasn't just a Black thing. It was a Black and brown and anybody who else is marginalized thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think the Hughes brothers or Alan Hughes directed that one.
Yes, and it's funny because they beefed it right at the end, but they were friends. But they beefed it at the end.
Yes.
You know, he got down with them, right?
Yeah, that's dope, man. I'm glad that they were able to work that out because I met Alan and Albert, the two brothers, at a young age, and I met Tupac when he was about 19 in 1992. That was about the only time that I ever actually met him and shook his hand. But he was a quiet guy. He wasn't that loud guy that we saw later on.
Right.
You know. But now, as far as growing up in an Ecuadorian home, give us a picture of what it was like growing up in your home. Like, what type of music, if any, did your mother or your father play when you were a kid?
Okay, so my household was really my grandmother's household.
Okay.
That's really where we spent most of our time. And my grandfather, he came out here, and I believe his mission was just to help everybody he could from Ecuador come out here too. So there was always a full house. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like uncles, aunts, people from Ecuador that, you know, needed a helping hand. He ran a factory. He gave people jobs. That's who he was as a man. That's, you know what I'm saying? So it was always like a party. Every Sunday was a party. And of course there was music. We listened to salsa. We listened to Hector Lavoe, but mainly we listen to Julio Jaramillo, who is the like Ecuadorian icon. Like,
well, would he be considered like a Juan Gabriel or like a Vicente Fernandez?
Like a Chente, yeah, for sure. Like I sampled him. I actually performed the song at To Live and Die in LA. I sampled him. It was like one of my favorites, still one of my closest songs to my heart. You know, every time I perform it, I let people know what it means to me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome because you know what. Growing up in LA, you just think everybody's Mexican growing up.
Oh man, I used to get in fights over that, man. It's crazy. Like no,
give us an example.
No diss to my Mexican people because I love y'all. I love everybody out here. We're all Latino. We're all humans, really. But people used to call me Mexican, ignorant people, when I used to say things bad. Like, I ain't Mexican. They would say something, well, you look Mexican. I say, well, you look like so-and-so or whatever.
Right.
And it would be a fight, you know, because it's L.A., especially like, I don't know how it is now. I'm not that young anymore. But when I was a teenager, you say some sideways shit, you're going to catch a fist, you know. So
right.
Always getting down over that.
I had, in elementary, I had friends that were Salvadorian, Guatemalan, and what was the other one? Salvadorian, Guatemalan, and I'm trying to remember the other one. But I always thought they were Mexicans. and then in high school, you know, I just thought they were Mexican guys, you know. And then one day, one guy said, I brought tamales to school because that was for lunch, even though I was embarrassed because everybody had like Taco Bell. Well, it was Pup and Taco back then.
Okay.
And, you know, whatever. And I took some tamales, you know, and they were cold, so I was eating them. And then the reason why I found out when my friend was Salvadorian because he said, oh, man, I like tamales, but the way we make them. So then I said, what do you mean the way we? Don't you make them like this?
We got tamales too.
Right.
We call them humitas though, and they're different, yeah.
And he goes, well, we make them like this. And I said, well, what are you?
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm Salvadorian. And I was like,
he thought you knew, huh?
yeah, he did. He didn't change anything, but he kind of took it disrespectful a little bit. But I said, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I talked to your mom and all the time, and she didn't sound like that. You know, she didn't sound like with an accent, I should say. And
that's
other
crazy because they got a real notice. I got a lot of family that's mixed with Salvadorian. You could tell. I mean, I could tell.
Yeah,
you know
but I wasn't. But his mom, I guess mingled with so much, you know, Mexican people that either she lost it or turned off her accent.
I think this happens a lot. I think people kind of mix in like a chameleon, kind of like not even consciously. I think they just mix in because it's just easier to assimilate than to stand out. And it's like no diss to anybody, but like I just was always like on some super proud Ecuadorian, and I think because I went there every year more so. But even then, like I dropped a song where I'm rapping in Spanish, and I dropped it with an Ecuadorian. It's called Bandera. It's a Bandera remix. It's about this plate. The Ecuadorians made. It's called bandera. It's like 3 different plates, all on one. Okay. It's like, and when I dropped it, I pushed it towards the Ecuadorian people, and all of them said I had a Mexican accent. So I mean, I guess I do it too. But to Mexicans, I don't sound Mexican. So you know, it's interesting.
Yeah. Then my other Guatemalan friend, he brought me a tamal. It looked like it was wrapped in a green leaf. And I didn't know. I'm like, what are you, dude? Like, we don't make them like this.
The banana leaf. We do the same thing.
He had told me, he goes, oh, I'm from Guatemala. And I was like, you never told me. It wasn't a big damn deal. But it's just like growing up, I just thought everybody was like, it's like sad to say, it's like, at least for my family, we thought if you were Korean, Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, you knew karate. Because of Bruce Lee.
That's hilarious.
You know,
that's hilarious. I mean, I grew up doing martial arts, so so I couldn't see that just because my dad was heavy on that. He said in Ecuador, I guess he did that like heavy. So when we came out here, that's like one of the things my dad stuck with. He like would wake me up in the mornings on the weekends and have me do push-ups and kicks, and then he put me in classes. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
But yeah, the martial arts, man, that's funny. My wife's Filipino. Shout out to y'all.
Awesome.
She doesn't know martial arts, but I think she got a nice right hook. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. You know, now let me ask you this: since your dad put you in, you said martial arts, do you think it's good to involve your kids and things like that?
Yeah, I'm putting my kids. Well, I put them in karate, but I think I'm gonna put them in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu next. I think everybody should know how to protect themselves.
Absolutely.
And also teaches a discipline. Like it teaches you that just because you're capable of beating the shit out of somebody doesn't mean you should always use it. It teaches you like there's strength in not fighting as well. You know.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree. Now, you had said that you and your family, every Sunday, it was like a party, and they would play these artists. Did your parents ever at all play any Mexican music growing up?
I want to say yes. I don't really remember. It didn't stand out that much. I mean, back then as a kid, it kind of all was mixed in.
Right.
But more so, it was like cumbia, salsa, and Julio Jaramillo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Any great Ecuadorian restaurants out here?
Man, no.
Really?
Man, there was one. It was like if you exited, you familiar with LA?
Of course.
Like really well. It was on like Temple and Virgil.
Okay.
It was like right next, it's funny enough, it was right next to a Peruvian restaurant, right? It's called El Caserio. They moved to, if you exited on Silver Lake off the 101, it was right in front. It was a spot right there. And then they closed recently, I want to say during COVID, and now it's a Calavera, you know, Calaveras.
Oh, yeah.
So now that's what the restaurant is.
I'm not a big fan of Calaveras.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment, but I probably agree with you.
Okay, I'll tell you why. And I'm not going to bash them, but I went to 2 different ones. The first one got me sick, and I have a very, very strong stomach.
Oh, shit.
The first one got me sick. I'm like, you know what? I like the atmosphere. I like the way it looks. The drinks are cool. Let me go to the one over here by the beach. Same shit.
Yeah, it got you sick too.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good.
That's funny because I was on a diet at the time. Like I always do these crazy diets. I was on a diet, so I didn't really eat. And my wife ate. My boy Mondo, who was here from New York, ate, and his girl ate. And I think they all got a little sick. So yeah, it's not just you.
All
the
good.
drinks look fire though.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I think in today's day and age, like, bro, like, I don't know if you're a big fan of mariscos at all.
Nah, I am. I'm from, my family's from the coast of Ecuador.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the way we do shit now is just amazing now. It's like everything has been elevated, even sushi. I don't know if you're a big fan.
I'm a huge fan
I love
of sushi.
Same here, bro.
It. Man, I eat sashimi. Like, that's...
Sashimi is the shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. I just had it all out yesterday.
Man.
But, yeah, man. But I want to try Ecuadorian food. So where do I go?
Man, I'll invite you over. You know, it's. I know there's like in Elysian Park, there's a gathering of Ecuadorians now. I think there's some food trucks. I haven't tried it, so I can't vouch for it.
Okay.
And I'm free plugging y'all, so y'all need to book me one day. The Taste of Ecuador is about to happen, I think, either August 5th or the following weekend. And they have Ecuadorian food there. You know what I'm saying? I actually set up with my family one time and sold food.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so rare. You know what I'm saying? It's just so rare to find good Ecuadorian spots. Now there are like, I don't know what you call them, but like underground like places where you could like, if you know the spot, you can go to somebody's house and eat. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on that a lot. Like there was a spot right by my neighborhood in West Adams that you would go. It was called El Capitan's, and you would go and it was like a dude's house and they was cooking, and you would just order whatever was on their specials. You would order and you would eat at the house, like inside of their living room, you know?
If it was good, it was good. You know
it was fire. It was fire. It was fire. It wasn't my mom's, but it was fire.
Now, okay. Just for people that might have grown up in your area, give us the elementary, middle school, and high school that you attended.
All right, so I didn't go to school in my area.
Okay.
My mom was really good about putting me in schools like the magnet program and stuff. So I went to Open Charter Magnet School. Okay. Which used to be over there on Fairfax and like Airdrum, which is like 18th around there, and that was an amazing school. It was really based on what you knew, and they try to harness like what your skills were. They didn't have grades; they had clusters, so they had colors for every group. It was different. Thank God my mom put me in that because I think it really helped me be creative. I believe Nipsey Hussle went there.
Really?
So, yeah. So, and then after that, I went to middle school. It was LACES, Los Angeles Center for Rich Studies, which used to be at the Pio Pico spot, right there on Pico. But when I was there, it was already on Fairfax and 18th, right next to that other school.
Okay.
But then, you know, me being me, by the time I got to 9th grade, I got kicked out. I went to Venice, I went to uni, I went to City of Angels, and then I just dropped out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What does FACE do after high school?
Man.
Did you start your first job or
I mean, I was working from the moment I could get a work permit. I was working, you know, before that, my dad taught me like, you know, how to like, he would have people over for, you know, whatever reason. And I would wash their cars for low money. I would even sell candy. I wasn't really good at selling candy though. I'd eat it. So it didn't really work out. But then I even recycled cans from my dad's party, like everything to you know, just make a little change. And it wasn't that we were like so poor that I didn't have money. It was just that my pops and my moms believed that I should know I need to earn money. You know?
Need to earn money. That's a good thing.
And then I think my first real job was at the Bridge. You know the Bridge movie theater? You see it off the 405 right by the Fox Hills Mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then in a Chinese restaurant in the same little mall. So I would go from one job to the next. And because I was a dropout, I mean, technically I got a GED, so I was able to work. And then I went to Ralph's. I worked at Ralph's for a good minute. Then I jumped all over these jobs.
Okay.
But always trying to rap, man. Always doing my best to do the music thing. And then eventually I had a family, had to take a little break, and then step back in when I felt comfortable, you know.
Okay, and now let's go back to the rap. I know you said you like poetry. Is that how it started for you? Did you start writing poetry?
Yeah, so my best friend at the time, Smurf, he's still my boy. he had read my poetry, and he had already been rapping and stuff.
And about how old are you right here at this time?
Like 12.
Okay.
Like 12. So he reads my poetry, and he's like, yo, man, you need to put this on a beat. And I had no idea. Like, I had taken music classes, piano and stuff, but like, I wasn't good. Like, you know, I wasn't nice. And he taught me, like, he was like, I'll teach you how to do it. And he taught me how to structure my verses.
Teach you bars?
He taught me bars, for, you know, like 16 bars, how to count. He taught me all of that, man. Thank God for him. Shout out to him. Street Rebirth is his brand. He does a lot of dope stuff. Even now, he's all about helping the community and growing. And yeah, he took my poetry. He helped me put it on music. He taught me how to record. My first project was called Black and Brown because I had been like jumped and stabbed because I was kicking it with black people, and I'm Latino. You know how that can go.
Wow.
I thought that was crazy because I don't know if you ever seen Ecuadorians, like even our soccer team is a lot of mixed black people. There's a lot of like my cousins and stuff, like we're mixed, you know, Afro Latinos and all that. It's just a real thing. So that whole beef never made sense to me. So my first 2 projects was called Black and Brown.
Wow. So, okay, let's walk us through. Okay, so your friend helps you put music, your lyrics on beats. You're around 12 years old. Is that when you started recording?
No, so it took us, I want to say like 3 years for me to actually get to his house.
Okay, so from that point, about 15, maybe 16 years old?
He would send me beats and try to explain it to me. It didn't really work out until I went to his house around the time I was like 15, I want to say. And he, you know that scene in NWA, Straight Outta Compton, where they record Eazy-E one line for one line.
Oh, they punched you in.
He did that for me the first song. I'll never forget it. It was like Scarface here, repping the streets, walk a block, turn left, all you see in his grief. It was so simple, but he did it bar for bar for bar for bar, and like he took his time, man. And that was a big deal, and like I still thank him every day, you know.
So was that? Would you say that was your first official recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
he probably has it somewhere.
Okay, so you record this, you drop these bars, you play it back and you listen. Did you like what you heard?
It was mixed feelings. I didn't like my voice.
A lot of people don't. Some people do.
But the feeling that I got from hearing myself was just amazing to me. Like just knowing that I could do that, you know, that was amazing. But yeah, I didn't like my voice at all. Yeah,
I ask that question a lot to a lot of artists, and there are a lot like yourself. They'll say yes. Some people say yes. Some people will say no. Some people will be right in the middle. Kind of. Wasn't sure, but. A lot of people need to understand that it's just not the writing part. It's also
the delivery. The
deliverance, man.
Yep.
It's the deliverance. And then if you have a good, dope engineer, he brings the best out of your voice.
Yep.
You know.
The engineer, I think, is, we were talking off mic earlier. You said the producer and the artist need to respect each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that the producer / engineer doesn't get enough love in this game. You know, my last album was called 3 Faces. It was actually my first solo, like full studio album. It was 3 Faces, came out about a year ago. EP, he worked at Paramount, so he really knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, and he brought the best out of me, man. And I'm so glad that he really taught me like what an engineer is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Do you ever look back at any recordings and say, man, shouldn't have did that verse. I should have did that verse over.
Before that album,
yeah,
I want to say that a lot of my recordings, I looked at it like that. Like a lot of my recordings, I like to perform them, but I don't necessarily like to hear the song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I didn't know any better. In fact, there's a lot of songs that I want to revisit and like redo, re-record.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so around what age would you say that you finally released something? When I say release something, like you finally tracked it and said, you know what, let me hand them out or let me show it to someone. And what was the response?
So the first thing I did was a Black and Brown mixtape.
Okay, when you say mixtape, about how many of them were in there?
Man, there was 24 tracks on it.
24 tracks.
Yeah.
And were these burns on a CD?
Oh, actually, the first one, no, that's a lie. The first one was like, I think 18 or so.
Okay.
It was burned on a CD. The writing on it was deco markers. I had a homegirl write it because she had that, you know, like that nice tagging. And I would go to the promenade and I would go around with a beatboxer and I'd walk up to people because I didn't have big headphones, and I just walk up to people and I'd be like, yo, if I rap this for you, will you buy my mixtape? And I'd ask their name and I'd freestyle and I'd sell my mixtape. And I mean, I got a cool little response back then. It was MySpace days. So like my MySpace was a little jumping. But eventually my MySpace got deleted by Crazy X, so that didn't work out. But it was a good response. When they heard my mixtape, they loved it. So I knew it was a good thing what I was doing, you know?
Okay. So the response was good. So you knew that was like, okay, this was almost fuel to keep going.
Yep.
Okay, and how soon after did your next one drop?
Oh, man, it was a while. Because, you know, when you get to be 18, life, of course, you kind of learn life is different than what you had hoped for. And, you know, I was wilding. I was always doing crazy things. But I want to say I was like 24 maybe, and Black and Brown Volume 2 came out. That one had 24 tracks on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one is cool. I went to New York. I pushed it out there. I performed out there. I was doing, you know, the circuit that you think you're supposed to do, where you're like paying to play and stuff and selling tickets. It didn't do as well as I hoped. I kind of got crushed, and it kind of took me time to get real. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just start my own thing. And like, I stepped away from what was the scene at the time. I feel like, and then I reevaluated, and I came back. I don't know what year it was. I want to say it was 2017.
Okay.
So I was like,
you said you were crushed. What do you mean by that?
It just didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Do you think that possibly you had so much high hopes?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And it didn't live up to your expectation?
I mean, it was 24 tracks.
Right,
you
of
know?
course.
So it was like the industry was also changing at that time.
Very true.
Know? So like it was the mixtape era, but it was changing from that to like not be the mixtape era and be the streaming era now. And that was new. So like I really didn't have anything outside of Hand to Hands to push it as. And like I didn't know any better. You know, I had to educate myself on the game a lot more. And yeah, I had way high hopes. I was like, this is the one, man.
This is the one that take me over.
It had so many. I mean, like those are the songs I'm talking about. I want to revisit. A lot of them were on that project.
Did you ever at those times? I mean, I know you say you were young, but did you ever at that time try to shop it, possibly to try to get some type of major record deal or at least major distribution?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that even back then, I didn't want to be on a label.
Okay.
I wanted to be independent. I wanted to own everything. I was always scared about. I mean, I built my own studio in my backyard because I was like, I don't want anybody to control what I can say, what I can do. Especially like the Black and Brown thing. Even in the hood, I would hear like people come back like, that's never gonna be a thing. You know, like it's like you can't do that. Like there's too many politics. It's like, well, I want to change it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I mean, I know it's a big deal. You know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, your heart was in the right place. Your intentions were good, but there's people in the streets that just don't see it like you.
Yeah, I mean, and they probably never will. And you know, it is what it is. But I'm still behind that message: Black and Brown, unity and love. That's what hip hop is for me.
Absolutely.
You know, hip hop is about self-expression, being authentic, and you know, at the end of the day, this is Black culture. So you know, even though Latinos have been here from the start, we got to show love and respect, and this unity. You know,
you said being authentic. The state of rap music today, is it authentic?
Man, I mean, I think there are artists that are authentic.
I agree with you.
You know, I think there are artists that are authentic. I mean, even me, I embellish. Like I talk about what I've done. I might put extras on it, but you know, it sounds good. But I am authentic. I was really doing these things, just not at that level. Mm-hmm. It's entertainment as well. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you're speaking real enough, people are gonna relate to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, like I say, like there's people that really, really want to be different, you know, and they stand out, they stay in their lane, they do their music, they get a cult fan base, you know, if they don't want to be on a major label.
Right.
I get it. That's cool. And then there's people that just say, well, that's the sound right now that's everybody's on.
Right.
You know, and I say, okay, that's good, but if you're at least going to be following the leader, at least bring your own twist to it. Don't just do the same thing over and over.
Well, the funny thing is that coming up, I didn't want to rap in Spanish and English because I was scared I was going to be boxed in, right?
Right.
And then finally, around the time that I dropped that first mixtape, my boy Preach the Truth, he was like, you need to rap in Spanish. It's the only way I'm gonna let you on this beat. It was like a Oye Como Va sample, and I needed to rap on it.
Right.
You know, as a rapper, you hear some beats and you're like, I need that beat. I need to rap on it. Like even now I hear beats on the radio and I'll just be like, I would have ripped it better, you know?
Right.
And he was like, you have to rap in Spanish. And I rapped in Spanish and in Spanglish, let's say.
Okay.
And I fell in love with it, man. Like,
Really?
That's my style. Now that's all I do is Spanglish rap. Like, yeah, I have verses I have songs that are all in English, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of my music is Spanglish, you know? And it's just because that's the way I talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just who I am. It's authentic to me. But in the early days, I want to say, like, before 4 or 5 years ago, I was being made fun of a lot for it. People never gonna understand you. You're never gonna have a market. And now look, everybody's rapping in Spanish. So I think it's funny, like you said, like now that's the trend. That's what's on. Now I've been on this. You know, this is what I do.
Right.
So,
you know, you had mentioned something earlier that stood out to me, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. We'll go over it. I mean, we'll pass that. But you had mentioned that you had gotten, if I'm correct, beat up and stabbed.
Yeah, shanked. Yeah.
Because of the whole black and brown thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of give us a picture of what happened?
Well, I was in high school. I'm not gonna name school, all of that. But I was in school. There was like crews, and that was like, I don't know if you remember, but during that time period, there was a lot of I want to say media attention on the whole black and brown violence in high schools. There was big fights at every high school between black and Latinos, and I never ever was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be with the Latinos and so
go against blacks.
Yeah, I was never on that, like, ever. Like, that shit didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? In fact, at one of the schools, like, it was a summer school, so it wasn't my real school. This other guy, he's black. He went to my real school with me. He had my back when the Latinos, when the other black people were trying to jump me, and he was just like, nah, man, it's my boy. And we fought black and Latinos together, and it was me and him. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'll never forget him, man. KT the Terrible, that's my boy. He still produces for me. It's my guy. This is middle school till now, you know. And so at this school, I'm in high school at this point. It's like 9th or 10th grade, and I'm kicking it with both, you know. I'm not making any. I'm homies with whoever, and then there was an obvious group that had a problem with it. They would say shit to me on the side. They would call me like all kinds of, you know, N-word lover.
Right.
I don't like to say it, but like my hetero and stuff like that. And you know, I would stand up to them, and then one day, you know, usually I was with my homies. One day all my homies ditched. I was trying to be a good kid that day. I didn't ditch. They caught me slipping, man. They caught me slipping right in front of the classroom I was walking to. They all caught me. It was like 15 dudes. They jumped me. They weren't dropping me. And I look up. I kind of see something shiny is coming to my head. And I like try to drop. And it slashed me. And that's like around that exact point, because you know everything's slow motion. It must have been like no time, but at that point, a girl ran out the classroom. Suhei, like, I don't know where she is at life, but I'm pretty sure she saved my life. She ran out the classroom and like scared them off. Like, everybody came out the class at that point, but the whole class was watching this happen.
Right.
And I didn't even realize I had got slashed or whatever. And I'm just pissed, you know. I'm pissed. I'm screaming. I'm cussing. And then she's like, looking at me like crazy worried, and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you're bleeding. And I'm like, I touch my head and I'm like gushing blood. So she runs to get paper towel, stops me, they take me, they stop the bleeding, whatever. But yeah, man, that's what happened.
Wow. And all because you were for this black and brown thing.
Yep.
And the people, yeah, I get it. Sucks that it has to be that way, and some people feel that way, but you know, I don't understand it, but oh, well, it's always been like that for a long time. And I think it's to a certain extent, with some people, it's always like that. But you know what? Oh, well.
That's how I feel. This is a hill I'll die on. Like, it's cool. It is what it is. You either stand up for something or you fall for anything.
Right,
know?
Exactly. So now, as far as, now you did the first black and brown, then you released the second black and brown. Any visuals to those?
There was, it's probably still on my old YouTube, man. There is a video for Black and Brown. There's a slideshow video I put together for the song. The title song was Black and Brown. And then there was another song called Essence. There was also a slideshow video. Because back then, you know, I didn't know I should know videos, man. So I just took iMovie and I just did a slideshow with the lyrics in mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I still like them. They're up somewhere. You know.
Okay. You know, now, if I were to hop in the car with you and you drive, what is Face going to be playing for me?
Currently, probably my new stuff that's
Currently?
unreleased.
Okay.
You know, but if I was listening to artists like mainstream
Just artists. Then drop me some artists.
it'd probably be some Be Real, probably be some Pac, probably be some Eminem, some Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick specifically. If I was switching it up, it'd be like Frank Sinatra, Hector Lavoe, it'd be Julio Jaramillo for sure. But if I listen to Julio Jaramillo, I might get emotional, so probably wouldn't.
So it's like that.
Yeah, it's like that. I mean, like you said, you know,
Yeah.
we're attracted to music that touches us.
Yeah.
And most like last time, I think I really, like, I don't even like to listen to music all the time because I get really like affected. I think last time that I really was in like a listening mood, I was on the road to San Diego to perform with my boys Barlos and Sneaky, and that's my crew, MM Clan, and we were going to perform in San Diego, and they was like, "You got the aux," and I was like, "Oh, you done fucked up." So I went through like everything, and I kind of like was crying in the car, you know, and I don't drink or anything. I'm completely sober, man. So I'm in my feelings, and they're like, "Okay, Face." I mean, they were feeling it too, but I was definitely in my feelings.
Okay. Now let's talk about your name. Has it always been FACEvsIT?
No, actually, it was Scarface. After that incident, they couldn't call me Scarhead, so they called me Scarface.
But did you have what about a name even before that? Before the incident?
No.
Okay.
I think it was always Scarface.
Okay.
But yes, it was Scarface. That's crazy. The first thing I recorded was Scarface here, repping the street. So it was always Scarface.
Okay. So now FACEvsIT.
Okay.
Explain that, please.
So I had a homie. He worked at Rouse with me. His name is Manny Servant. He started calling me Face.
Okay.
He was like, "I can't call you Scarface, man." And all I would do is I was a ripper. You know what a ripper is?
No.
So when people were stocking, the ripper rips up the boxes, stacks them up, and takes them. So like they were stocking, I was behind them ripping.
See, I worked at the distribution, and we would ship that stuff to you guys.
Okay, see, so I was receiving it and ripping up the boxes and putting it in I forgot what the thing is called, but it flattens the boxes.
Okay.
That was my job, but it was overnight. So I would just have my headphones on, freestyling all night.
Oh, okay.
And this is when I was like, that's all I did was freestyle because I didn't have time to be in the studio all the time, right? So they liked my stuff. They would have me, you know, it's like when you got a boy that freestyles and you put him on the spot, they would put me on the spot all the time. And he was like, "I can't call you Scarface, man. Scarface the rapper is like, he's Scarface the rapper. I can't call you that."
Right.
And I was like, "All right, man." He just started calling me Face. I was like, "I like that. All right, let's stick with Face." So I just stuck with Face. And down the line, I made it an acronym because I felt like, well, my face should stand for something, right? So it was like F.A.C.E. And that was like fatally assaulting Candy Entertainment, freeing all controlled ethnicities. I spit that fire, acid, crack, and ecstasy. Like I had a grip of acronyms, man.
Right.
And eventually I started, you know, the game changed, DSPs happened, and I was like, all right, I started putting my name F.A.C.E. And I noticed a lot of people started doing that, and I didn't know why. I don't know whether it was just a lot of people with the same name wanted to do that, and I was like, I got to do something different.
Right.
And I was always really into my ego versus my conscience, and like me versus myself, me and my inner self, and like that war that we all have going on, right? So I was really scared of It the Clown growing up. It's my biggest fear. So I was like, it's like your ego is something, like your ego is you sometimes, but it's also like your worst enemy. So it's my biggest fear is it, right? So FACEvsIT. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it came from.
So when you say it, you're talking about it?
The killer clown, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's where it came from. Now it's like ego versus conscious things. Yep.
Okay. You know what? I never would have thought it from.
Yep. FACEvsIT.
Now, are you a fan of it?
I mean, I was scared as hell of it. Now I guess I'm a fan, but yeah, I like the original better than the remakes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the remakes are cool, but it's just something about
I didn't watch part 2. I watched part 1. I thought it was really, really well.
Part 1 was dope.
Yeah.
Part 2 was a little too much.
It is.
I never read the book though, so I don't know if it was which one was more book accurate. But number 1, the original, I watched as a child, and that shit scared the shit out of me. So
yeah. I mean, you know what? I mean, I'm not trying to get off topic, but what is it about clowns that scares not only women but also kids?
Well, I believe, and I don't know if this is completely true, but when I looked it up, because I looked it up on like online and stuff, what I had read at the time was that clowns were actually walking around during the festivals in Europe and stuff with giant sausages, and they would hit bad kids. So maybe it's ingrained in us, like when they were out beyond the time that they were supposed to be out. So maybe it's ingrained in us. I don't know. But I was definitely scared of clowns after that movie, and for a long time I didn't like to be around them. Now it's whatever, but I mean, they're still weird as hell to me.
Like my sisters and their daughters are afraid of clowns and Chucky.
I was afraid of Chucky. That's funny, man. That was like my mom, man. That was like, I just stuttered. You see, that's how scared I was of Chucky. You got, when I came here, I said that. I was like, man, that was like my biggest fear with Chucky.
Look, he's looking at you.
Yeah, man, sideways and stuff. I don't know,
what about Leprechaun?
Leprechaun was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
El Duende. I watched, so my best friend in Ecuador, his family owned a video rental spot. Mind you, they're all dubbed in Spanish or with Spanish subtitles. So when I watched Leprechaun, it was like the voiceover, right? So to me, it was hilarious. And then over there, like El Duende is like a myth that they tell everybody anyway.
How do they say I want me go? Quiero mi oro.
Quiero mi oro. Yeah, I think that's what, or mi tesoro or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, man. So I would watch all those scary movies with him, but to me, they were funny.
Yeah,
you know, so like a lot of the movies, like Children of the Corn, I watched it in Spanish. I didn't watch it in English. Like the Jason movies, I watched them in Spanish and stuff because that's what we would do. We were kids. It's like watch scary movies.
How would you say hello to my little friend in Spanish?
That one I watched in English. I don't know. That one, my dad low-key put me on that. Scarface. You know.
Dile hola a mi amiguito.
A mi amiguito, right? And it's probably not even a Cuban accent.
I know.
Right? It's probably like a Spaniard.
Okay. Now, as far as your music is concerned, producers, who do you work with, bro?
All right, so those early days, I worked with my boys, which was Smurf, Keys, you know, Christian Ford, everybody in KT, everybody in them circles that we kind of went to high school, kind of stayed around each other.
So you've been knowing Christian Ford for a minute then?
Man, I've known him since...
I've known him as 88, that's why.
We're 88 Keys, yeah. So I've known him since like the 7th grade, yeah.
Wow, much love and respect to 88.
Yeah, much love. Shout out to you. He's doing his thing, always. But I met through him, well, not through him, but through that group, I met THX Beats. And he made my first like single Loco, which is like one of my favorite verses one of my favorite songs, but the first verse is like one of my favorite verses.
Can you spit it for us?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yo canto, no soy santo, pero peleo por mi gente. Palabras pasando, disparando de mi mente. Me cuente que soy loco, mire, puesta siempre so. The question's simple, don't you know I'm from the gutters low? If you don't, then here's the show. I'm from South Los to East, where MC's beast with YTs and Dickies crease. Heartbeat cease over some scuffed up chucks. Car screech cease hosted just to rough up punks. I seen stunts on a daily basis with no shock faces. See the opposite of Oasis in the famous places. Aces flip from an empty deck. Like magic, we made nothing into something blessed. A hip-hop Houdini like Scott T, I'm beaming. Haters start dreaming, but me, I keep seeming to bring my lunacy into reality. No one can shatter me. I'm bred brutality. Oi, oi. Oye me loco. Yeah.
Oh, let's get my hand clap over there. That shit was nice. That shit was nice.
So that was like one of my favorite songs, and now I'm working on a whole project. I did that one for sure in 2017. I dropped that.
Okay. What was the response on that one?
Well, that's kind of when I kind of started to get a little bit of respect. The same week I dropped the video, I had like got myself onto Sway in the Morning, and I rapped for his 7th year anniversary in front of the studio crowd.
Really?
I got a lot of momentum off of that, and that's kind of like I started throwing my hip hop shows at Golden Road Brewery, and that helped me kind of like really network and make a name for myself in the local scene. In fact, I was you did the show with Mezcal. I was in New York with Mezcal when I rapped on Sway. So yeah, and then we went to Europe together, and like ever since then it's been a climb. So I want to say 2017 is when I think everything really got kind of serious. Everything started to look
and
right.
The biggest cock blocker showed up. The pandemic.
Oh man, that's hilarious because I swear to God that was my year, man. 2020 was my year. We even started it with my crew started. We used to do these things called Mub Clan Invasions where we rap. My crew's name is MM Mub Clan, Monster Mashup Clan. Mub Clan. We used to do these things where we would rap over famous beats, and we call them Mub Clan Invasions. And we did one over what is that? Man of the Year, Schoolboy Q. And, and we came into 2020 claiming that we are the clan of the year, and then the pandemic hit.
And then it was back to life.
Yeah, man.
Back
to reality. No,
bro,
man.
that year sucked, bro.
But in all honesty,
I mean, let's be honest. Something good came out of it because we just stood home, cultivated that gift that we have, and we had to come up with some type of different hustle. And the people that are gifted shined.
I was about to say, I feel like my online presence wasn't where it needed to be. I mean, I was throwing a show that every time I threw it was once a month at the brewery. It was like 200, 250 people, which for a LA hip hop show, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my online presence didn't match that. You know what I'm saying? So I during the bubble that I created, I literally was in Ecuador when the pandemic hit. I was out there for my grandfather's funeral, and everybody was like, everything's closing down. And then all the flights got canceled to come back home. We had to get on an emergency flight to come back. But before I came back, I was like, look, we're just going to be around each other. Nobody else. So we won't get COVID. Like, we'll just only be around our family and each other. We'll be in the studio, and that's it. And it worked out. So I created a bubble with my people before the bubble was even really a term.
Right.
And when I came back, the first thing I did, because I got there late, the next day I had the crew meet up at the studio, and we started a podcast. We started doing like ciphers. Like, we started doing freestyles on this podcast, and that's where we really kind of started a bubble. And then towards the end of 2021, I did this thing. Like, you know, it's coming out of the pandemic. I did this thing where it was called the 30 for 30. And I did 30 songs in 30 days with 30 videos. And
wow.
Yeah. And I don't think without the pandemic, I could have done that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have a day job, you know what I'm saying? And like the pandemic gave me a lot of space to not be at that day job all day.
You know, there's a lot of guys that have come through here, man. Like you mentioned Viva Mezcal, and then you mentioned that you went to New York with them, you went to Europe. Can you kind of, because there's a lot of artists still that have never made it out there yet, even to New York.
Yeah.
And I've always encouraged artists that are into the hip hop culture, you know, whether it's graffiti, whether it's breakdancing, whether it's DJing, whether it's rapping, go visit New York. You know, go visit New York.
It's mandatory.
Some say, I don't need it. I'm a West Coast guy. I understand that, but you know what? The world is bigger than just the West Coast, bro. Yep. So the world is bigger than your hood.
And they're going to love you out there. Yeah. They're going to mess with you if you dope. If you're dope.
Now, walk us through Europe.
Okay, so I guess there's a convention that happens over there that Mezcal put me up on. And he was like, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I was like, all right. He was like, can you book the shows in these cities? And I was like, all right, I'll see what I could do. Through the internet, I book shows. We land in Europe, and all the shows got canceled. So I'm out there.
Really?
Yeah, well, most of the shows, the ones that I booked, they all got canceled, whatever. But somehow, I don't know how I did it, in every city, I got us a show. Like the cities that, like in Barcelona and France, like I got us a show. And then he got, Mad Max got us one in Amsterdam. And then in Rotterdam, me and my boy Bartos, we just rapped in front of a whole beer garden. So it was dope as hell.
So you guys took advantage of the situation and just said, fuck, we're going to go for broke.
I mean, I just kind of felt like I'm out here already. Like,
of course.
I'm not going to jump on a plane back. I'm not going to waste the time away from my kids because I got kids. I was like, I got to do something. I got to prove it to myself.
What is one thing that you feel that you took away from that experience? Let's just say that there's an artist watching, and if he says, man, I want to go out there, but I don't have no shows or whatever.
Look at that. You know, I think that if you're an artist, especially if you're a rapper, you should have a gift for gab. You should be able to talk, right? You should be able to communicate. So I think that if you're really about it, you can make shit happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally landed in a foreign country where I didn't speak the language and made shit happen. Yeah. You know, so I think anybody out there, if you believe in yourself, the universe is going to work in your favor.
Absolutely.
So just keep pushing. I landed there, and a lot of other people, I was crushed, but I couldn't let it destroy me at that moment.
You could have been sad enough to not, okay, I'm not going to do it. They all got canceled. Yeah. And you could have been down on yourself, but instead you decided to rise above that and I'm going to make the best of it and let's make it work.
Exactly. And then my uncle was with me, Merchant Media Productions, and that's what I believe inspired him to like actually back me and work with me, because he wasn't in this music game. And then he decided then, like, I remember we was on the beaches of Barcelona after a show, which is just dope to say, right?
Right.
And we walked away on the beach in back of the club that we were at, just after celebrating what we had done. We had performed at this like a weed collective where they had like performances and stuff, which I got in contact with somehow on Instagram, you know.
Right.
And we went and we were walking behind, like, the back of the club was the beach. So me and my uncle walk away, we start talking, and he tells me, he's like, you know what, I believe in you. I'm gonna start working with you. I'm gonna start investing in this with you. And I think that grit that I showed there is what inspired him to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he believes in me too. He's my uncle. Obviously, he taught me a lot of game. It's my OG. Like, you know, he taught me a lot of game out here. And yeah, so again, the universe works in your favor, man. Like, maybe if that didn't happen, if the shows didn't cancel and I didn't show that I got it in me to do that, maybe he would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, shows, you know.
But no, he saw you wanted it.
Yeah,
he saw your passion for it. You know, I had some dope guys that come through, and I know I'm going to forget all of them. Well, a lot of them, so please bear with me. One that was here is a guy named Zapata the Ghost.
Okay.
Okay, I had him here. There's another guy, Hazard. I don't know if you're familiar with Hazard.
Yeah, no,
okay. I like Hazard. MC Wicks.
Yep. I know.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And another dope guy, Afro.
Oh yeah, Afro. All flows something. I don't remember.
I don't even remember. I just call him
that
Afro.
his name's an acronym, but I literally was just talking to David about him. Like, he's a freestyle genius.
Yes, yes. And you know, and he's black and Mexican, so he's all for the black and brown.
That's right.
So how can people be mad at him? He was born that way.
Right. You exactly. I mean, there's a lot of that. You know, it's just like we're in an environment where we're so close together. Like, we're both marginalized people. Like, we have no. I mean, where hip hop was born, the Bronx, on August 11th, 1973. Right. 50 years of hip hop. Shout out to hip hop, man.
It's about to be 50 years.
I wouldn't be here without hip hop.
I was 5 years old.
Man, I was not even a thought, for sure. But you know, it was, if you look at the demographics of what was the Bronx, it was a grip of Afro-Latinos. It was a grip of Latinos and black people co-mingling and living together in what appeared to be like, I wasn't there, but from what I see from documentaries, because I believe when you are in this game, you got to go back and do your homework, you know, which I think a lot of these new artists don't do, but you got to go see who it was. You know, Kool Herc was there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So Scott LaRock, right? So I think that we've been here since the beginning, and it's crazy to think that there should be a separation.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's a show coming up. I think
Mixtapes.
No, I don't remember, but I posted it on my story. I think it's next week. I think it is. It's Big Daddy Kane and Rakim.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I have the flyer, bro. Like, and then they're having the big one at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, you're talking about the
two separate events.
The LL Cool J is doing one of them. The
LL Cool J, Run DMC's headlining.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, bro, man. I'm so mad I'm not going to be in New York Saturday, because that's Saturday, the Force one with LL Cool J.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, is that the one where Run DMC's headlining at the Yankee Stadium?
I believe so.
You know what? And I was going to try to go there because I do have a boy that's going to be there.
Oh, man.
But, bro, I was looking at tickets, and right now there was no, like, one way.
Yeah,
like you had to stop.
The tickets to the show are actually not bad.
No,
the tickets, the flights, I saw that too, man. Because I wanted to go out there, you know. But the tickets were crazy, and then, like you said, the ones that weren't stupid crazy, they were like 4 connections, be like 18-hour flight out of a 6-hour flight.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good with that shit, bro. I just want to fly one way, and that's it.
That's right.
You know?
Exactly.
I always say I'm not going to put my life in danger 2 times. I'm not going to take off twice and land twice just to get to one place.
All right, that makes sense. Oh, so you scared of flying a little bit?
Oh, I've been flying for years, bro, but I hate it, bro. I don't like being somewhere where I can't leave.
Oh man, okay, yeah, I love flying.
Not me,
but I've been flying since I was like 9 months old, so maybe that's why.
So are your arms? Do your arms get tired when you fly?
Yeah, you know, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I just wake up like fly. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All good. Okay, so now 2023, man. What can people expect? You know, from Face.
All right, so I'm actually dropping a music video on hip hop's birthday. which is
okay.
next Friday. It's called Go and Take It. The track is called Go and Take It. My wife's brand, Beauty LA, is actually the one that produced it. They could expect that. It's a banger. It looks like a movie, man. I really am proud of it. Shout out to 26 Does. He shot it. He directed it. That's one thing. And then August 18th, I'm dropping a single with this I guess a dual producers, orchestrated sounds. It's called Loose Lips, and I got a couple singles coming out. I just don't have dates for those.
Now, when you say loose lips,
like loose lips, sink ships.
Okay, those kind of lips.
Loose lips.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when you hear the song, I reference that too. I reference that too. You know, I mean, you kind of have to, right?
I'm just asking because it sounded kind of...
It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, it's a play on words.
It's all good.
You know what I'm saying? So that one's coming out August 18th, and I got other singles lined up with them. And in October, I'm actually opening up. Well, I don't know if I'm opening. I'm performing at Urban Con, which should be dope.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that.
When is that?
October 22nd.
Okay, I think this is the second year they're doing this, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I heard they're gonna have like the cast from Scarface and The Godfather there, I think, or American Me, something like that. It's gonna be dope, man. Like a lot of dope artists I know are gonna be there. It looks like a lot of dope, culture.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. Now, the stuff that you're dropping, a lot of it is in Spanish?
Spanglish. I like to say I rap in Spanglish. It's English and Spanish mixed. Like what you heard, what I did.
Right, right.
I'll rap in English and I'll rap in Spanish and I bring it back. Sometimes it just depends.
Okay, who is Face's Mount Rushmore? 4 top rappers.
Man, that's such a hard question for me because if we're talking only English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's stick to English.
Let's say English.
Since hip hop started, I don't care if they're alive, deceased.
Okay, Pac.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Eminem. Man, see the second two is hard because I think there's so many changeable right there. I say Pac, Eminem, Nas. Yeah, that fourth position. Man, that fourth position, it's a hard one because I want to say Biggie, but I love Biggie, but he had 2 albums, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I want to say Big Pun, but he also had 2 albums, and he did the Spanglish flow. I'm gonna give it to Be Real though, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
I think Be Real's voice and what he did for the culture overall just makes it stand out, you know what I'm saying? Like he also was a Latino in LA that did what he did. Yeah. But he's doing what he's doing.
Still doing it, yes.
Right.
Yeah, blessings to him, bro.
What is it, 30 years of Black Mass, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, bro, he's still going, he's still winning, bro. And I just, you know what? At my age, bro, I like to tell people that are still winning, are still successful, I don't want to tell them you're dope. You know what I like to tell them? I'm proud of you.
That's dope. That's dope. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it is, man. It's like, I'm proud of you. I saw, I think it was 2019 or 2018. I recorded Mr. Cartoon, on a documentary. And I met Cartoon when I was a teenager. And at the Roadium swap meet. And we kind of known each other ever since. We lost communication. He done took off. Yeah, he blew Life up. Kicked in. I did my own thing. We reunited. I saw him, and I told him face to face, bro. You know what? I just want to tell you, bro. I met you when you were a teenager, and look where you're at now. I'm very proud of you, man. He just told me, thank you, man. Thank you.
That's right.
Because all he was doing was just airbrushing T-shirts at the swap meet. And I remember.
That's crazy.
He was kind of like my sponsor, if you will, because he was like, hey, if I do you a shirt, and when you wear it at a show, would you just tell him where you got it from?
That's dope. Okay. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. How small the world is, man.
Yeah, man. So now as far as Biggie and Pac released a double CD, All Eyes on Me, and
All Eyes on Me. It's funny, bro, because I low key the CD I got, the first real CD I took from my aunt. And it was All Eyes on Me, the double CD. So yeah,
Wow.
But I mean, I love Biggie, man, but and then also honorable shout out. I'd say not top 4 Mount Rushmore, but I gotta say, Atmosphere, Slug, really influenced me when I was younger. Immortal Technique really influenced me as well. I loved Immortal Technique. He's also South American, you know. Those 2 cats, I gotta say, you know, Slug and Immortal Technique.
I'm gonna try to play this. See if I can get you to give me a name. Okay. When I mention like a sport, mention the first person that comes to your mind. Okay?
I'm not good with sports, but let's go.
Okay. I think it's kind of easy. I think. So I mention it. The first person that comes to your mind, basketball.
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Mamba mentality is how I live.
Soccer.
Oh man, Ronaldo.
Okay.
Ronaldo from Brazil.
Okay.
Not Cristiano Ronaldo.
Baseball.
Mike Piazza.
Okay, Mike Piazza. Football.
That's a hard one. Steve Young.
Okay, Steve Young. Think about this one. Who's the first person that comes to your mind? Rap music.
Pac. Easy.
Really?
Yeah, Pac. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Now let me ask you this. Being from LA, and Chicano rap has been around for at least 30 years. I say since 1990, since La Raza came out. Have you ever been a fan of Chicano rap?
Yeah, man. La Raza, come on. Like that,
okay.
It's, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's just my shit, man.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any favorite other than maybe Frost that you might have bumped growing up?
I mean, I don't think anybody in my age group could say that they didn't bump Summer Nights by Lil Rob, man. Like, come on. But I got all the love from, you know, the ladies when I would be like, the love we share, something so especial estar contigo is all I want to do every night. Is that MV Rider shit, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah, man, I love that too.
Okay, so you mentioned Frost, Lil Rob, MV Riders. Maybe give me 2 more.
2 more. I think that's where I stopped, man, because after that it's like reggaeton stuff. So I like like El General. I like this guy, Big Boy, who has the song "Mis ojos lloran por ti" and like a grip of songs. Because in Ecuador, that's what they were listening to.
What was the first, if you can recall, reggaeton song you heard? The
first one I heard.
The very first song.
I don't know the first one I heard because, like I said, in Ecuador they were playing it all the time. But the first one that stood out to me was the Big Boy, "Sin tu amor." You know, I can't sing, but that one is like, "Quisiera volver a amarte, volver a quererte, volver a tenerte cerca de mí, girl. Mis ojos lloran por ti." Like that was the first one I remember.
Okay, the first one that I heard, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a mixture of like some cumbia and fucking like some dance hall music.
Amigas El General.
No.
What was it?
Even though I did shows with El General.
Bro, that's legendary.
Yeah, I did shows with El General.
Crazy.
But this one, when I heard it, I was at a club and I heard it, and the fucking girls went crazy, bro, because their hips don't lie.
They still do.
Okay. and I remember I asked my buddy, he was DJing, I said, "Bro, who is that?" He goes, "Oh, that's some new music." And I said, "Well, what is it?" And he goes, "They call it reggaeton. That's Don Omar. You know that song, Dile?"
Bro, come on, Dile. Of course.
Fuck, bro.
Teo Calderon is also one of my tops.
Yes. Teo
Calderon. But he was a salsa singer that turned into a rapper.
Oh, really?
Yup, that's why you got that voice. Yep.
Now, so when I heard that song, bro, and I saw the girls dancing to it, I said, okay, this is about to change shit.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
I mean, look at Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look at where he's at. Like, I really feel like it died out for a long time, though, right?
Okay. I'm just telling you when I first heard it.
Right.
So what was that, early 2000s?
Yeah, but I feel like, no, I know that 91 was when El General
Right. When General. But would you consider him reggaeton?
Yeah, I would consider him, and he's Panamanian, I would consider him the father of it.
Okay.
And I might be wrong. If anybody's out there and they want to correct me, feel free. But I feel like he's the father of what we know as reggaeton.
Like, you know what we would call it? Because we didn't have a name for it. Because I never heard reggaeton, the name reggaeton, until, how would you say, early 2000 when I heard Don Omar.
Right.
We just called, El General Spanish reggae.
That's funny because that's essentially what reggaeton is, right? Like, reggaeton, right?
Right. So,
but then it has a dembow beat, but
But when I first heard that, boom, boom, mami, and motherfuckers went crazy, bro.
Man, my song by him is Mamita, Ricky Apretadita. That one, that's my song by him. That's the one. Every time that comes on, my squad knows. They look right at me. He's gonna start rapping that.
Right. No, yeah, I did shows, a couple of shows with him, man. Real cool guy. You know, he would always wear the same shit.
Oh, word.
Always wear the same shit.
He was in a uniform.
He was in uniform, bro.
Professional.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. But yeah, even back then, I remember we did a couple of shows with them in San Diego, and his song was already big. But every time I talked to him, he'd always look worried because he was like, "Man, música knows hip hop." And I was like, "Don't worry, they're gonna love you."
Yeah, I mean, he probably felt like it was hip hop, right?
Right.
Which,
right.
I mean, it's a funny thing because my homies always make fun of me because I'm like, that's hip hop. If it's authentic, it's hip hop,
Right.
you know.
Are you familiar with the group, the Mexicans, Sinful and Capital I, man? They're from Long Beach.
I feel like the Mexicans with the Z, I think.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, fucking dope ass fucking lyricists. I've had them both here. I remember they almost had that whatchamacallit, Capitan mentality, like, you know, I'm not hip hop. I don't know if they're gonna like me. Well, we were at Peppers, okay, the Club Peppers, and this was like in the mid.
Where's Peppers at?
City of Industry. Okay. I think it's off the 10, you know, or 60.
Yeah, 60.
Okay, so we were there, and a bunch of Spanish artists were performing that night, and I saw them, and I go, "Hey, what's up, man? You guys performing?" And they were like, "Yeah." They were a little concerned because they were like, "Man, you know what? We're hip hop. I don't know if they're gonna like us tonight." And I go, "Bro, once you guys start spitting in Spanish, it's all over, bro."
Right. Exactly.
And they went out there and wrecked shit, bro. They went out there and wrecked shit. So I say that as an encouragement to a lot of artists that many times think, like, fuck, I'm going to take the stage. I don't know how the crowd's going to react. Go out there and give them that energy, bro.
Yeah.
And they'll
that's
feel
it.
it.
That's it. It's all in the energy when you perform, man. I want to say that it took me a long time to get good at it, but once I got good at performing, at least I believe I'm good at it. You know, the crowd doesn't seem to mind me on stage.
Right.
It's the energy just doesn't lie, man. You give it to them, they won't give it back. You know.
Very, very true, bro. At a early 1990, 91, as weird as it may sound, me and High C, when we started doing a lot of shows, we ended up doing a lot of shows with Cypress Hill. I don't know why they would put High C and me with Cypress Hill.
Why not?
You know, I just thought we were just two totally different type of genres, even though it was rap. We just had our own crowd. They had their own crowd. But I'll tell you what, though, man. When those guys took the fucking stage, bro, there's several performers, and this is going to be my question to you. They just brought the energy, bro, where the crowd participated. The place became electric, bro, where everybody must have felt the damn goosebumps. Okay? Now, growing up, I was blessed and fortunate to see NWA perform. Okay?
Man.
They brought an incredible show. The second best one was KRS-One. He
I
brought
seen
it.
him. He's dope.
Cypress Hill, third one. My fourth one, believe it or not, was Ghetto Boys when they dropped that album, Can't Be Stopped, that My Mind is Playing Tricks on Me
Oh
album.
yeah, that was prime.
I saw Willie D, rest in peace, Bushwick Bill and Scarface all perform together. So those are the four groups that have stood out to me that have really brought the energy where the room became electric. Do you recall watching anybody perform that possibly brought that energy just like that?
I mean, for me, Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill's one of
Cypress
them?
Hill is like, they're like holy grail for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, they did what I feel like needed to be done for especially Latinos on the West Coast. You know, like they put it on
Right.
in a different way, stay true to themselves.
Right.
And that you know, that energy, I mean, what you said, man, they're
Yeah.
amazing. And then I like the elements of Bobo in it too. Like,
Of course.
you know, shout out to Bobo. He's a cool cat, man. I've had the pleasure of seeing him with my boy who DJs, DJ Ethos, and like the way they go back and forth with the DJ scratching and the drumming, it's crazy. And you know, that Latin root stands out. But outside of that, live performances, groups, I don't think I've seen a lot of groups because when I was coming up, there wasn't a lot. Black Hippie was dope. I saw them at Pay Dues.
Okay.
I think it was their first headlining event. Yeah, outside of that, I mean, I've seen videos of people
Right.
more so.
Right.
I say Run DMC to me was always like a dope group to see perform. Beastie Boys, I fell in love with groups, I think, with Beastie Boys music. Because my cousin from New York put me up on them, you know, and my crew I based very much on that style, that back and forth rap. You know, so Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and Cypress Hills, I say.
Okay, let's say that I give you three artists that you could record with. If they could be alive or deceased. Give me three artists that you would love to do each a song with.
Pac, obviously, right?
Okay.
Man, you give me hard ones because like there's interchangeable ones. Pac, Pun, and Be Real.
Really?
Yeah. I think me and Pun would do something dope with the Spanglish. You know what I'm saying? Be Real too. You know, Pac, it's just Pac. You know.
Right. In this industry that you're in, man, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself putting other artists on.
Okay.
I see myself right now. I'm building my name. I want to be able to be in a position where I can help other artists get on, and even like, I don't know if it's 5 years, but eventually have, because I feel like hip hop saved my life. I definitely want to have a place where I could teach people how to record and use poetry to really talk for what they come from and show their struggle and their lifestyle.
Right. Okay, say your artist is barely starting off now. He's listening and he's heard your struggles. He heard, you know, the whole black and brown thing, you getting jumped, you getting shanked, you know, your struggles, going to Europe, they cancel your shows, but yet you still perform, you overcame that. If an artist is barely starting out right now, what is some of the best advice that you can give a kid that could be 17, 18, 19 years old that saying, okay, you know what? I heard your story. I'm just barely starting. What are some of the things that I should avoid? What are some of the things that I should look out for? What would be best for my career that maybe you might have gone through already?
Keep going. I think is the best thing I could tell anybody. Keep going. Stay consistent. Keep going. No matter what happens, just keep going. Because this is your dream, right? You got to keep going. Like, you got to keep going. That's one thing. Stay consistent as possible. Life happens to everyone, but you never want to be the person that had an idea and I believe we all tap into a source code, right? I believe like when you freestyle, even like maybe it's just the mainstream culture that we all tap into, but there's these things floating around and people pull them out. And once you have that idea, you need to roll with it and you need to execute it as fast as you can in the best way possible. Because you never want to be the person standing outside of it and seeing somebody take your idea that you said you had and they did it first, you know, or they did it better, or they did it however, whatever it is. I'd say just keep going, stay consistent, and when you have a good idea, run with that bitch, like run with it, and take constructive criticism, because even if they're saying it with malice, there might be some truth in it. So just make your shit undeniable.
Okay. And are you open to do features with people? Are you open for producers to submit music to you? Let's just say they might have heard you, rap tonight, or they may look you up on platforms and say, you know what, I think I got something dope. Are you open to work with other producers?
I'm open to work with anybody who wants to work. But just know that if you're a rapper, I'm going to do my best to eat you on a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. Now, as far as shows, like, do you have a manager or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd say right now my boy David Vegas is booking my shows. You know what I'm saying? So reach out to him.
Concerts for you.
Concerts for you.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Now, who in your eyes, if any, besides yourself, who in your eyes is hot that you think maybe is up and coming, or maybe they're out there that people should take notice, or be looking out for?
I mean, besides me?
Yeah, besides you.
I mean, she's already kind of huge, but Reverie.
Yeah, she's been here, I think, like 3 times.
Yeah, she's kind of already on the up. Right?
As a matter of fact, I saw her perform for the first time at the Television in LA.
Oh, word. I love Reverie, man. She put me on some of my first shows. So I opened up for her, and like I always have love and respect for her because she was a real one from day one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's never gotten too big. Every time she sees me, it's all love,
Yeah.
Man, who's coming up that's dope as hell?
Is there anybody that you think possibly like hasn't received their shine yet? Like, how come nobody isn't noticing this person? Because there's a lot of them out there like that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have my ears to the street like that because I'm so focused on what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Outside of the people that I'm actually around, I really don't see it. I mean, shout out to Legend. He's dope as hell. I don't know if you know he is. He performed at Living LA as well. He's killing it. But yeah, outside of I'm kind of working adjacent to him. So I don't know much outside of that. You know?
There was a guy, I think I reached out to him in 2017, and somebody shot me his video. Have you heard of this kid? He's from Fresno. Like, I didn't know who he was, some chubby kid. So I reached out to him and I go, here's my number, call me. I thought for some reason he was more locally. Maybe he was just repping Fresno, but he lived out there. And I said, hey, bro, like, I think you're really fucking dope. And this is before I even had the podcast. Started the podcast in 2019. So when I started the podcast, I reached out to him again. Are you down to drive for an interview? Oh, yeah. I was at the guy named MC Wicks.
Oh, well,
I personally believe that he is a guy that is so humble. He's funny. I think he's talented. And I don't think he's gotten his proper shine yet. You know, he's one. You know who I think is dope too? And I think that they should be bigger than what they are right now because they've been hustling. Is the Coyote?
Oh, Coyote Ferrari. Yeah, he's dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. You know, there's another girl from Fresno. She's managed by Erica B&B Entertainment. Her name is Drea. I think she's up and coming. I think she's not getting enough light. I think, and of course, Bella the rapper. Are you familiar with her?
Bella the rapper's dope. She performed at To Live and Die in LA too, right?
Yeah. She, I gave her a very first interview here. She was 17 years old, and I just knew that, and I'm still hoping that one day she's gonna be way bigger than what she is.
I got an answer for you. Third World.
Oh,
Third World.
Yeah.
They're dope as hell.
Yeah.
They're dope as hell.
If this the same group, they're involved somehow with Esteban.
Yup.
That's them. I interviewed them here.
They're dope.
Yeah.
I like what they do.
Yeah. And it's another guy, but he does like punk rock, Nate No Face.
Nate No Face, yep.
Yeah, he's another dope
I saw
guy.
him perform that night too. He was something to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So there's a lot of gems out there that I just truly believe that really haven't gotten that shine. And why that is, I don't know. You know, but you know what? I'm glad that we were able to sit down with you and talk to you. You know, what I want to do now is I'm going to connect Alex, and I want to open up the lines, and maybe we'll take just a couple of phone calls, bro, and see if anybody calls in and asks you anything, bro.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool.
You know, give me. Yeah, hold on. Just did you turn on so I can connect? Okay, because okay, let me see. Let me connect real fast. Am I on? All right, cool. All right, you guys, if anybody wants to call in and talk to Face, ask him a question about his music, pertaining to music, go ahead and call in right now. And if not, we're just going to finish up the conversation and conclude the interview. But you know what? I want to thank you for coming here. I want to thank you, you know, for answering the questions. And, you know, I hope that people follow you. We could put his name back up on the screen. And let me see. I'm using his app. Okay, caller, call back. Okay.
Should I put these on?
Yeah, let's put these on. Okay, we'll take a couple of phone calls. Caller, go ahead and call back. Let's see. And let's see if somebody calls in and wants to ask you something again pertaining to music, pertaining to
Turn me
again
down a little bit.
Okay.
It's a little loud. Yeah, a little bit more.
You turning it up over there?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Actually.
Okay, hold on. Okay, caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hey, so what's up, man? I've never really heard of FACEvsIT.
Yes.
But I love how y'all talking.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Like first and foremost, it don't matter. Like, shout out Tony the Wizard. Whoever he got on this platform, I support because it's Tony the Wizard don't just support like a random person.
Facts.
You like, so I'm gonna look him up. I just tuned in about 13 minutes ago, but I just want to say real quick, real fast, real slow. Hey, salute to the channel. I want to see some Freaky Tales. Shout out Freaky Tales. That's my shit. Hey, for Roadium Radio, shout out Roadium Radio at the same goddamn time. But anyway, man, salute both of y'all. Love y'all. Hey, do what y'all do. Make what y'all make. Man, and like, let's just represent.
That's right.
Let's represent. Love y'all.
Thank
One
you.
love.
Okay, let's keep it pushing. Let's see who wants to call in. Thank you, caller. Greatly appreciate that
Yes,
for
sir.
supporting the channel. In September 11th, it'll be 4 years that we've been podcasting.
Word.
I
What
didn't.
a date to start.
Yeah, it was funny because when we did this, I didn't think I was going to do it for 6 months. 6 months was my time limit. You know, I'm just going to do it for 6 months, and then before you knew it, we're still here. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up? It's Spencer Baca from Sacramento.
What's going on, Spencer?
How's it going? I got 3 questions, and then I want to say something after it. Can I actually say what I wanted to say first?
Go for it.
Okay, so I know you were talking about dope and upcoming rappers.
Yes.
And you were mentioning MC Wicks. And
Yeah.
first of all, I wanted to say he's a dope artist, but another dope artist that I didn't think got the credit he deserved was Slim 400. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that he was booked to be here.
Oh word.
But
LA icon right there, man.
He was going to be like late an hour, and he just canceled, and then he ended up passing away soon after.
Man, yeah.
So
yeah, I was in Inglewood that week. I spent a long time out of there. So yeah,
okay.
I remember that when that happened. It was crazy.
Go ahead, caller.
Okay, so I wanted to ask Faith first. So you were talking about some Chicano rappers that you listen to. I know you mentioned Frost and Little Rob, and I think there was one other one. Was it NB Riders?
NB Riders, yeah. MC Magic, NB Riders. Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, Faith, did you ever listen to Toker or Brownside growing up?
I can't say that I did. But there was others
you don't
that
know who that is?
No, I don't know because there was a lot of back then it was like the download game on like, you know, LimeWire and stuff. So there was a lot of stuff I had. I might have heard their stuff, but I just, you know, didn't know what they were called.
Oh, okay. So, well, if you don't know who it is, look up on YouTube Brownside. They're a Chicano rap band. Eazy-E founded them. Him and
Okay.
Tony G and Julio G too.
Okay, I definitely will check them out.
What's your other question, my bro?
The other thing I would like to ask was, I know you got your own clothing merchandise, and it's dope, but I wanted to ask, I might want to buy some shit. What brand are the t-shirts and hoodies?
You know what? I don't know the brand. My designer does that. So I mean, if you DM me though, I'll get you the information.
That's good.
Okay, I might buy a shirt or something. But the last thing I wanted to ask was, I know, Tony, you mentioned tomorrow there'll be news with Norbies, but on Sunday, will there be a special guest, or is it going to be Marvelous again?
Oh no, it'll be another artist.
Okay, that's dope. Anyway, peace out, one love, good night.
Thank you.
Love you.
Okay, let's go. Let's keep it pushing, and we'll take a couple of more phone calls. Anybody else want to call in and ask Space anything pertaining to music, pertaining to his merch, pertaining to his schedule, pertaining to his whatever? Call in. Right now is the opportunity. A lot of people always say, I'm trying to call in, but the lines are busy. We missed about 3 phone calls, so right now is a good time to call in if you want to call in. If not, we're just going to continue. Here we go. Let me see. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Shazzy from Houston, Texas.
How you doing, Shazzy?
Hey, how you doing? So I just I kind of came into the show kind of in and out, and I apologize for that. Yes, who did you say that you thought was the father of reggaeton?
El General.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
So
I was on point.
That actually.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah,
you got me scared for a second.
that is correct.
All
No. I'm actually glad that you said that, because a few people know that Panamanians actually created reggaeton.
Well, I'm
not,
Ecuadorian, and Panamanians and Ecuadorians have a really good relationship, so I have to be up on that, you know.
Hey, that's dope. My grandfather is Jamaican and actually ended up in Panama to build the canal, so I have a connection with Panamanians too.
That's awesome.
But the question that I had for you, since you already do a lot of your music in Spanish, are you possibly just going to go and head straight into the Latino market, period? Make that full crossover? Because right now that is a scene that's really big, and there does seem to be a lot more movement. I mean, you would have access to South America, the Caribbean, Mexico, you'd have so much more access rather than just staying within the United States or Europe.
Currently, I'm working on a project that has a lot of Spanish music on it, so I definitely am planning on going in there. I wouldn't say it would be all Spanish though, but you know, the thing about it is when you make dope music in both languages, a lot more people I feel like relate to you. Like I said, I performed in, I don't know if you caught it, but I performed in Ecuador, and a lot of people were connecting to it. And the new songs that I have on the way, I think they're going to connect a lot more because it's a lot more Spanish heavy, a lot more singing. Yeah.
Great. And the last question I have is, if possible, could you drop some bars for us in español, por favor?
En español. I mean, I dropped some earlier. I got this, padre sin documento, madre con el ejemplo, tíos en el barrio like I am the connecto. First generational conversations, they talking nice, we thinking immigration. Breaking curses like no more inebriation, this bilingual flow is my type of innovation. Este mi sonido como negro con los latinos, black and brown, we both treated like we illegal.
Dope. Give him a hand clap. Hell yeah.
Now I want Tony A to drop some bars in Spanish too.
Okay. Buenas noches, porque tengo mucha hambre. Oh, good, Shazzy.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Yes, appreciate you. Okay, come on. We're gonna take about one or two more phone calls. Let's go. I think earlier I said El General, and then later on I said El Capitan.
Yeah, you did. I didn't want to correct you.
No, correct me, please.
Yeah,
correct me.
I didn't want to correct you because you was in, you know, you was talking.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Tony A? This is Eddie from Yuma County, Arizona. How's everybody tonight?
Oh, good, my brother. How you doing tonight, man? Thank you for calling in.
Doing great, man.
Pretty good. Well, hey, man, enjoying your show, man. I just wanted to ask your guest a question, and you too a question, Tony. Like, can I just drop some rhymes for the house for you guys, just to see if you guys can feel what, like, if you feel what I feel, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, go for it, man.
For it.
All right. My heart is my biggest weakness, but my heart is my biggest sweetness. I just had spaghetti, now I'm ready to rock steady with my girlfriend Jenny. Hold on, baby, because I know you're rock ready to give me sexual therapy. But let's go out with our not bad luck, because you know, and I together could really fuck. Because you and I together are worth more than $1 million.
All right.
Run my arms flowing, my vocabulary growing. No need to act like people don't be knowing whom Mike Muscle wanna be showing, and I'm growing. Please come to my show and remember to say no to the blow, and just got a groove with a fly hoe, so you two can cook up after the show. So what to know? If you work for your bro has come back to make noise, it's not like breaking a Rolls Royce.
Dope. Let's give him a hand clap.
That's right.
I stalk my prey with raw music. It hits them anyway. They don't got to hate. Just get to recreate good music, because today's music sucks. If you listen to it, garbage and trash. That's why I'll pass on today's rap blast. But let me change my style. That's why I'm gonna be sick in the vial, setting it like hotcakes or crack. You know, my music will always be on top like the raps. Taking 2 steps back and ready for the comeback. I'll bring the hip hop to your block, with you rocking nonstop. In the heat, you think I'm gonna drink a beer in the system just so you can hit them for a rhythm. Hold on, bro, because you know I got the show for the Tony A and the home beat right there on the show. Yes, indeed. This is Eddie from the Yuma County streets. But I was in the streets of LA, because one day I'll be on the stage someday, and everybody will be saying, you made it, baby. So who the hell was really crazy? Back in the 80s, that shit was a sweet. Run DMC, BDP, no one could compete. NWA, fuck what they say. Ice-T, it gotta be power. Ryan's Bay, 6 in the morning. Yes, indeed. That's what we play.
6 in the morning, police at my door, right?
Am I making a mistake?
All good, my bro.
How'd you like it?
All good, bro. I like it. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy when you call, bro. Keep doing it, homie. Thank you, bro. Thank you. You got a question for Face, bro?
Yeah, Face. What do you think, man? Am I good enough for me and you to make a feature in the future, though?
I mean, DM me, man. We could talk about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah. Hey, Tony, I got another question for you off the subject, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Did you ever, like, you and High C, did you guys ever tour with the Rhyme Syndicate in the early in the early 90s with the Rhyme Syndicate, like with Ice-T and stuff like that?
No, but I did get to see Ice-T perform when that album dropped, Power. When he had
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I got to see him perform that album, bro.
I'm your pusher. I'm your pusher.
I'm your pusher, bro. He just had so many hits off of that album.
Hey, you remember that song called Heartbreak? The Heartbreak?
I don't.
Collaboration. It's just a demonstration. Some rappers get down. What's a commercial sound? I have my choice. Some choices are underground. Remember?
Yeah.
That shit, something like that.
Thank you, my bro. Thank you. Listen, we're missing some phone calls, so let me let you go, my bro. Pero muchas gracias, bro. Call in next time and spit some more. Is that cool?
Yeah, Simon, you just keep having me, and you just keep having me on the show. I'll keep showing you some love, bro.
Hell yeah, thank you.
One love, man. Thank you.
Have a blessed night. Follow him. We're gonna take one more phone call, then it's a wrap. Give our shout outs, and I got a couple of more small questions for Face. So once again, anybody want to call in and ask him a question, once again about his music, whatever, call in right now. Call in your name or where are you calling from?
Hello, Tony. What's up, Face?
What's up, man?
Pitbull.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Library of Alexandria, secret location.
All right. The Library of Alexandria. They burnt that down, though, man. What's up?
No, he's still there, though.
Hey, that's yeah.
Read me some of the secret scrolls.
Yeah, I got some of the books left. Yeah,
that's right.
But hey, I'm calling to let you guys know that. Did you guys know that eye fools look up and down before crossing the street? No? But hey, Face, I want to ask you about that song "Sleeping with the Enemy." Is that based off
Yep.
An experience?
Yeah, it is, man.
Also,
it's a true story.
The question is, do you believe in people's energy? Because you mentioned it in the lyrics.
Yep.
And or do you believe in frequency, or what are your beliefs on that?
I mean, I believe energy never lies, man. I definitely believe it. On there, I play on the words, energy and energy. I really believe that energy is real. Your frequency doesn't lie. I mean, music is that, right? It's frequencies. So when you feel good from a song, when you feel sad, if you ever even watch a movie without the sound, it makes a difference because the frequencies aren't talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So energy is a real thing. I really believe in that. I believe you come into a room and change the energy in a positive way, or coming into the room and drain the energy in a negative way. So yeah, I do definitely believe in it.
Orderly. Okay. Thank you for taking my call, and I'll be looking at more of his videos on YouTube. And that's it.
Good. Thank you, Carnal. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. That was the last call. Let's go ahead and end it right there. Let me see. Let me get out of this app.
That was dope. I think that's the first time I took calls on air.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, that's dope, bro. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure. Log off out of here. Storage, clear. Bam. Got it. All right. Did you enjoy yourself, my brother?
Yeah, man. I definitely did.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Other than that, is there anything that I didn't ask you, anything you want to promote, anything you want to share, or you could just give your shout outs?
All right, man. Well, shout out to Merchan Media Productions. That's my uncle's company. He's the one putting everything into us and helping us move forward. Shout out to Concerts for You for getting me on here. Shout out to you and the team, Tony A, Norbies, and the other homie. What's his name again? What's your name again, bro? Alex. I knew it was an A. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people here at Roadium, all the people tuned in. Shout out to mi gente en Ecuador. Los quiero mucho. Si me están mirando, pues mucho amor. All my people in New York, Manuel Pelado, you know what I'm saying? You the man. Moms, I love you. And, to my wife and kids, one love always.
Oh, good. First and foremost, I want to thank you for giving us the honor and the pleasure of being here and giving us the opportunity to interview you. Only thing I tell everybody, when you blow the hell up, make sure you don't forget about us small people.
I'll be back.
Make sure you come back. I want to thank once again David Vegas, Concerts for You, for bringing you here, for the connection. Also, I want to give a shout out to Alex Cervantes Enterprise. I want to give a shout out to
I got some gifts for you.
Okay, News with Norbies tomorrow night, 8:00. I want to give a shout out to my son B-SKANLESS, also to the Hip Hop Jedi, to our moderator Magic Girl, and I forgot, but go ahead.
Yeah, I got some gifts for you guys, man. Here you go. This one's for you.
The black bag.
The black bag. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out to Sneaky for packing them. And then I got a little pop in there for you because I know you like those things.
Okay.
And this one's for Norbies whenever you want to grab them.
Blue Beetle.
That's right. The first Latino superhero to have a movie.
The first Latino superhero to have a
And
movie.
the kid who's playing him, Cholo, he's Ecuadorian, so that's a good look too.
No shit. Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? He's a kid from Karate Kid, Cobra Kai. So,
okay.
Yeah, man.
That'll work. Okay, let me check this out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's my boy Sneaky shirt. He's part of my crew, MM Clan. It's a black on black Sneaky logo.
That'll work.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. Also this one.
And that's my Three Faces shirt right there.
Oh, this was nice too right here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. What size are they?
XL.
Okay. You didn't give me medium?
Nah. I asked Norbies.
Okay.
So they're the wrong size. It's his fault.
Usually when you get medium, it makes me look buffer.
Yeah, there's some stickers in there, man. You can put
hell
them wherever
yeah.
you want to put them.
That'll work, man. I greatly appreciate you, bro. Thank you for your gifts, bro. Greatly appreciate it. Other than that, once again, super chats, go for it.
Okay. Let me get this right here.
Let's go.
Okay. West Coasting TV dropped $4.99. They said, would you do a rap with Baby Bash?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love Baby Bash, man. That's another artist I forgot to mention. There you go.
Okay.
Baby Bash.
Okay, the
South Park Mexican too, but I don't really, mess with him. But yeah, that's who put him on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the dude dropped $2. He said, Tortunga from Plebe in the house. Tortunga? I don't know how you say that.
Tortuga?
Tortuga, there you go. Yeah.
Turtle?
Yeah, there you go. So, let me see. Enrique Ledesma, he's been a member for 4 months now. He said, Tres Caras, your content is dope.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Please.
Absolutely.
I got more coming.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you, Face. Thank you, David. Concerts for you. Once again, make sure you guys follow them, support them. Subscribe, like, comment, all of that. If you guys had any other questions that you didn't get a chance to call in, make sure you guys DM him. Okay. Other than that, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, News with Norbies, where we give you the ghetto news from an unprofessional perspective. 'Cause we're not professional, but we give it to you from the gut. So we're out of here.
It's
Thank you.
entertaining as hell, too.
Hell yeah.